Big up, guys. Big up, guys. Welcome to the first buzz of the new year, 2025, of course. Apologies for being a bit late. Back to the lateness, I'm sorry. And it's not greatness, I know. But there's a lot to get through. And I've got a guest waiting as well, Manny. And apologies to him as well for the wait. But I won't apologise for what I'm going to do. I'm going to start with something that was brilliant for a change for the Bees. An away win. And a 5-0 win away from home. Yeah, it was only Southampton. But yeah, they all count. And it was a fantastic win. 5-0. Our biggest away victory, by the way, in the Premier. Amazing. And I'll bring my guest on, and I'm sure he'll be able to go into it as well. I'm sure he'll be happy about it, like I am. Maybe not quite with his score. Arsenal only drawing 1-1 with Brighton, but we will talk about that as well. But I'll bring him on, and that's Mr. T. Be up to you, my friend. How are you, sir?
Yes, all good. Thank you, sir. New Year to you, and Happy New Year to everyone who may or may not be in the chat or who'll be watching on playback. And of course, all of our Catholic friends and others who celebrate Happy Three Kings Day or the Epiphany. And this, of course, officially marks the end of the Christmas season. So today is the day you take down your Christmas trees. I know, heartbreaking, but what can you do? You can't keep them up forever. And certainly another reminder of the importance of having guiding stars in your lives to lead you to where you want to go. And no matter how wise you may be, even the three wise men needed to have a star to guide them towards the manger where baby Jesus lay. And a significant day, of course. And nothing to ring in 25 like 5. So you are, of course, entitled to win. Yes, it was against Southampton. And all I can say right now, and I will be brief with this, all I can say right now is Aaron Ramsdale, you've got to make some better choices, son. Third relegation. Do you really, club relegation league with England, do you need that?
Yeah, oh dear. He's taken another club down, isn't he, Mr. Ramsdale? Oh well. But we're not bothered. We've not 5 past him, so I'm not going to make any apologies for starting with this because it's a magnificent, fantastic, awesome win for us. And we had to get an away win. It was needed. It was badly needed.
I'll have to do some reading, and I'll come back in a minute.
Okay, mate, no worries. But yeah, an amazing victory for the Bees. And yes, it was Southampton. They are struggling. But who cares, we needed the win. And we got 5 goals. Our best away victory in the Premier. And I will go into it. Obviously, I will. And that's the link, by the way, guys. If anyone does want to come on in the live chat, you're welcome to. Obviously, Luca, you're there. I don't know if you're available, mate. If you're free, you want to come on. Yeah, be up to you, bro. Yeah. Cheers for coming on, man, into the live chat. Thanks for that. And, I'm fine. I'm cool. Yeah, great 5-0 win, yeah. Fantastic, mate. Fantastic. And, yeah, fortunately, Arsenal going into Newcastle. We'll chat about that in a little while, Luca. Obviously, just want to go into our victory first. And obviously, you must be disappointed only drawing 1-1 with Brighton. But I thought Brighton deserved a point at least. I thought they were brilliant. Had a great performance. Brighton, very good team. And definitely deserve something, albeit a bit controversial. How they got a point out of it, but again, we'll chat about that as well in a little while. And I'll get into this anyway. Yes, that's that score. Southampton 0, Bees 5. Amazing. Shardy, 6th minute, and Bomo yet again comes up with another one. Well, two actually. 62nd and 69th penalty, of course. That's fueling it even more now, stoking the fire about him possibly going elsewhere. With what he's doing, I hope he doesn't, but it could be, inevitable in a way that he might leave and go to, say, I guess you can say bigger clubs and trophies, really. But Lewis Potter also 92nd, and Visser, of course, added yet another goal to him, to his tally, 94th. Comprehensive win, amazing victory. As we say, you've got to take the opposition into account, but who cares? They weren't up so much, as we know they are bottom. But, still scoring 5 goals away from home when we hadn't actually won away is incredible. So going to the team lineups, of course, and Flecken again, at least a clean sheet for him. He's never going to be fantastic. He's not a replacement for Raya, never will be. But at least a clean sheet for him. I'd like to see him now do it against the bigger teams and be consistent now. Prove that he can be. He is a decent keeper, and we got him here. We keep playing him. So obviously Thomas sees something in this guy. I just hope he does. He proves that he can do it. And we've only got Plymouth this Saturday in the FA Cup 3rd round, and maybe he won't be tested as much there against Plymouth. Who knows? But you'd think we'd get through it if he plays. We may even play Valdemarson on Saturday. He may get a go in the FA Cup. So, Rorsleff, sorry. I still don't know what he's doing here. I just don't like this guy. Well, not as a man. I'm sure he's fine. He's great. He's a good bloke. But as a footballer, I'm sorry. He's not a footballer. And I will bring Manny back to discuss that. Rorsleff footballer or not? No.
I'll have to come back, Steve. Can't hear you.
Okay, mate. No worries. Well, never mind. That is a big question mark for me. If he's a footballer, he's a footballer, but is he a good one? That's the big question mark. But as I say, Flecken, clean sheet. He's going to get a fairly good mark this time when I do the player ratings. And, of course, Lewis Potter, not a left wing back. I still don't think he is. I don't know why he's still being played there. Because we haven't got a left winger, I suppose. A left wing back. A left back, I guess. With Rico Henry still out. And apparently we are looking for extra other players, left backs and right back. So maybe if we get another right back, Rorsleff might be gone once we get a right back in. Or move to maybe what his actual position should be. Apparently he's more a right winger and not a right wing back. So that may be the case, but is he still a decent footballer? Is he a proper player? What's your opinion on it, Manny, about Rorsleff?
Yeah, well, obviously, Steve, you clearly don't rate him, and there is a reason you see a lot more of him than I do. But I can't really judge him to be honest. But I will say that of the several you do have, he does seem to be the most error prone, and there is a reason why you don't rate him. Of course, you don't suffer fools gladly. You go to the G-Tech very frequently. You see them live. You see them on the telly, and you are a good judge, and you're also reasonably good. I wouldn't say not reasonably. You are, of course, a good judge of Flecken's own ability. For every 2 good performances, he has a nightmare, like he did against us, of course. That goal from Marino should never have been conceded. Poor stuff from him. It has to be said. I wouldn't have blamed him for Gabriel Jesus's opener because it was a good save under the circumstances. You've got to have a defender being able to come over there and clean up, and I think the defence needs to be blamed there. And of course, he probably couldn't do very much about Gabriel Martinelli's third, but a clean sheet, of course, is welcome. And you have had injuries, of course, to your defence, which is why Roerslev has been coming in. But I would like to see Valdemarsson play against Plymouth. He deserves to get his chance. And if memory serves me right, didn't he come on for Flecken in one of your earlier games?
Yeah, well, he came on against Brighton in the 0-0. That's because obviously Flecken was injured. And I thought he was going to be out a little while, Flecken. I was hoping he was going to be out a while. And we'd have Valdemarsson playing a few games. But no, he came back. Yeah, okay. It was terrible against Arsenal. I mean, that was pathetic. You know, that save against and he tipped it back to Jesus. That was fucking terrible as far as I'm concerned. But here he's got a clean sheet, but it was only against Southampton, and we've got to take that into account. They're pretty powder puff. They're bottom for a reason at the Premier. And I'm not trying to take nothing away from our win because it's a fucking great win. 5-0 is an amazing win. And our first away 3 points, into the bargain. But, we'll still take the opposition into account. And he does shit things against better opposition, like yourselves, of course. So I know what he does do and what he doesn't do. And the things he doesn't do are all bad. So anyway, so let's move on. And I think Lewis Potter had a decent game, but he's not a left wing back. He's definitely not a left wing back for me. But he scored, good goal, took it fairly well. Although he hit into the ground a bit, but it doesn't matter. Jensen, of course, played as well. Back, I'm glad he's back. We miss him in the midfield. He's adds a lot more to our midfield. Brilliant, more quality. And Collins, of course, had a great game, as he has done pretty much all season. He's been very good. The best I've seen of this guy, Vandenberg, as well, since he's got here. Yes, it was only against Southampton, and actually he was in his proper position. He was actually in his right position this time, and it showed. It showed what he can do in his proper position, and I'm happy with him. And he probably had that goal wrongly disallowed, maybe. Apparently, Visser held on to Bednarek, but I thought it was both ways with that. And Bednarek generally fouls anyway. So I'm not so sure. I think that probably should have been allowed, that goal. And of course, he won that penalty as well. And Bomo tucked away brilliantly. And, Norgard I thought was great again. Brilliant, as he usually is. Damsgaard, another good performance. Very good. Visser, another goal. Yeah, another goal for him. Brilliant. He's had a really great season so far. But Bomo for 2 goals. Will he be at the club for much longer, Manny? That's what I want to know. With the way he's going.
I think the question regarding Mbeumo is what sort of concrete offers have come for him? Because one of the things which we've learned over the years about this transfer talk is that unless it's, actually, well recorded in the papers or the press, and there is a sustained noise about it, then, you can't really bring too much into that. And you also can't allow any type of prospective transfer talk to sort of come in the way of a team's preparation for a game. And obviously, with a certain Liverpool defender. We're going to talk about that later on. I think Mbeumo is certainly a fine talent, but I would say don't worry about the transfer talk until it starts to intensify. And it hasn't really intensified as of yet. And Mbeumo also needs to consider that unless the team is really willing to give him his chance to shine in real games that he deserves, why would he want to leave the GTEC Stadium where, he's part of a family? And certainly in the absence of he who shall not be named, and I am not naming him, I hope you can appreciate that, he's taken on the role of spearheading the attack with the likes of Vissa and the smooth operator supporting him. Yeah. So why would he want to leave? Why would he not want to be, the big fish, continuing to do as well as he possibly can and make sure he really enjoys his football? And bear in mind, he also is a Cameroonian international. So the thing about many of these African stars is that regardless of where they play or even how often they play, they still manage to get called up very frequently for their nations. And of course, he is, of course, a teammate of a certain Monsieur Onana, who happens to play for Manchester United. I think Mbeumo might decide to stay, and especially, you may know this better than I do, if he's married with children and happily settled in West London, I'm not sure that the family needs that kind of upheaval, at least not just yet.
No, true. I'm just thinking, will the temptation be great there for him to go to somewhere that's, you're going to win trophies with a team and win things, because we're not going to win a load of stuff at the Bees. We all know that. When we do, we may win a cup at some stage. It's possible. It could happen. Maybe a Carabao Cup or something, FA Cup. But, it'll never be a Premier, and it's going to be a long way off, I think. But if it does happen. But, will the big bright lights, can he resist them about going to these big teams? And that is the problem, Manny. And, especially the money side as well. You get more at another club, a big club, than he gets here. We all know that. And, you're playing with better players as well. No disrespect to us, because we got some good players. We have got some good players. But they're not amazing. They're not, incredible. They're not world beaters, half of them. But they're good. But he could be in a team with, big players. You have got some there. We know we have. We know you have. There's the likes of Saka, of course, and obviously out injured, unfortunately. Would you class Odegaard as a world-class player, Manny? Would you class him as that? Or...
No, chance. Rejected by Real Madrid, who opted to retain Dani Ceballos. That answers your question. The less said about him, the better. I'm not in any mood to talk. And while I do get your points about, being tempted by the bright lights and more money, one of the things that we learn is that the grass is not always greener on the other side, and everything that glitters is not gold. Not everything that glitters is gold. Also, do not forget the tale of the town mouse and the country mouse. I remember sharing a little poem with you all on the group chat, which I don't think anyone appreciated, except hopefully you. I know you happen to like a lot of these fairy tales and a lot of these things about, our good old English literary culture, I'd like to think, and I hope you would have appreciated that. I just don't see the need for Mbeumo to really go, consider that kind of an upheaval. And, would it also be the right move for his family? That's another question altogether. You take a look at he who shall not be named and how he's living in Saudi Arabia now. I'm not too sure his family would be happy to live over there. And there's already talk about Cristiano Ronaldo breaking his Al Nassr contract a few years early to try and come back to Europe. Like I said, not everything that glitters is gold. Just don't pay heed to these rumors. Simple as that.
Yeah, I'll try not to, mate. And Well, of course, one of the rumours is to do with your club. He's linked with you as well. So that is one of the things as well. So, and we know what business you've done with us, with Raya, and I still don't like that. I don't like the fact we should have got more for him, not 27 mil. I still think that stinks. I hate that. It wrangles me every time that you didn't pay loads more. That he should, I know you don't really rate him as such, Manny, but I think he, a lot of the time for us, he was amazing. He was awesome. We still know what things he can do, some bad things he can do. And I've seen that for us at times. He has done it. That thing the other day with that conceding at the near post, that, he done that for us maybe once. But so he can do it. We know he can cock up. But not on a regular occurrence, like say maybe Mr. Flecken or whatever. I want somebody who's really consistent as a goalie and saves a lot more than he lets in. I know they say Flecken's got great stats, but then he's still conceding a lot of goals, Manny. He really is. And, but anyway, we'll move on because I'm fed up with talking about him and everything and all that. So I'll move on. Shardy, I thought was decent again. Got a goal. As you say, a smooth operator. It was good that he's still inconsistent, unfortunately, after that great hat trick he got. If you remember the 4-1 against Leicester. Didn't do as much. Did get one more. And then he's got another one. So, I don't know. He's actually got more than he got last season. So, I think he only got, 2 or 3, if that. Not much. Maybe 4. I can't remember. But I know he's got more this season. So, maybe he's starting to lift himself now and, prove what a good player he is. He must be a good player. I think we got him from obviously the German league. So, yeah, he's quality, I think, really. I just hope he proves it a lot more. I just want him to do more now and not settle on this, And the same for a lot of them. But obviously the subs, Arthur, we ain't seen nothing of him. Another young man, I believe. We got through the youth academy or something. Youth system. Homer, he came on. Didn't do too bad, actually, when he came on. He looked all right, but then he's only playing against Southampton. He came on against Arsenal and he looked terrible. But then again, you throw somebody into a match like that against a big opposition like yourselves, and you're never going to be any good, are you? So he's only played 2 Carabao Cup games before that, so go figure. But Valdemarson, as we've already mentioned, I think he should get a run out in that FA Cup. I really hope he does. And against Plymouth. So, it's a good time for him to get a few games under his belt. And Yarmaluk, of course, came on again. Another good performance from him. Looks very good. I do rate that young man. Janelt as well. Came on for Jensen. So, did okay when he come on. Meg Homer wasn't used again. Konak, again, not used. Yogan, another one I know a little bit about, but not much. He wasn't used. And Kim Ji-soo, who I rate as well. He may get a run out in the Cups. I hope so. I like the look of him. Very composed young man for a career. Well, he hasn't played for the full Korean side yet, I don't think. But he does look a good player. Looks promising. And we have got a lot of good, promising players there. So let's hope a lot of these get a run out now in the FA Cup. They need games. And obviously Southampton's team, Mr. Ramsdale in goal. Bree there. Walker Peters got put there. Wood, Bednarek, Harwood Bellis, Ugachukwu, Aribo, Onuachu, Dibbling, what a player. Quality player. Wish we had him, Manny. Very good young player, skillful. Suleimana, sorry. And the subs Manning, Sugawara, who came on for Bree. Archer, very good player as well, rate him. Came on for Suleimana. 55th, Lalana there, came on for Aribo. 87th, Bella Kochap. McCarthy. Taylor came on for Wood. Adam Armstrong on for Onuachu and Brereton Diaz. What do you make of their team, Manny? I mean, there are some decent players they got, actually. So why are they not really doing much? Is it to do with the manager? Was Russell Martin not at fault there? Or is the new manager not doing anything with them? What do you reckon?
Yeah, Steve, I'll say my piece and then I'm going to have to go off because for some reason I can't hear you. The Saints have literally become the sinners. That's all I can say. And, a lot of fans are going to want to be in their number when the Saints go marching back down. And I just think it's a case of really, the toxicity regarding Martin's reign and that run they were on. It kind of affected them, really. And there was also an instance when Martin literally, threw some players under the bus, saying that you can't make those sort of mistakes. I'm sorry, but you can't do that. And Martin's own unwillingness to tactically evolve, it can't not have really grated on the players, because no player worth his salt will ever want to get relegated. And any who says that they'd be happy getting relegated as long as they get to pick up their pay packet every week and continue living the life of Riley, they don't deserve any, respect as players or professionals. But when you're in a situation where, the manager just doesn't seem to care very much about the prospects of the team. If he cared, he'd try to do something about it. He'd try to, change a few things. And it could very well be that some of the players he has just weren't capable of playing well under him. And now there's a new bloke, Juric, who's come in to try and steady the ship. But the way things are going, it isn't really working. And maybe I think a lot of commentators have said that the players look demoralised. They just don't seem to want to play in the Premiership this season. I think they're looking forward to going back down, and maybe there is an air of, resignation about the whole club. Maybe they're starting to build for next season. I don't know. If they're planning on doing that, then several of those players are going to have to be let go. The likes of, Ryan Fraser, Sugawara, the Japanese international. Suleimana, who a lot has been expected of him, but he hasn't been anywhere near consistent enough. And will Ramsdale win in the Championship and harm his own England ambitions under Tommy Tuchel? I don't think so. Everything that can go wrong at Southampton is going wrong, and it's going to take more than a new manager and even some new players in the January window to really make things happen. Losing Gavin Bazunu to injury hasn't really worked, hasn't really helped. But, the choices of goalkeepers have certainly not really been up to the mark. Ramsdale has not been good. I wouldn't necessarily say that he was at fault for any of the goals that you scored, but, when you keep getting pumped for 3, 4, 5 more often than not, it can't not affect your confidence. And at least with Alex McCarthy, even though he had 5 pumped past him, I forget by whom, he at least is willing to show a little bit of, gravitas and bravado and a bit of leadership in some cases, although he's also been found wanting. Defensively, they're a complete shambles. I mean, they can't maintain a line for Toffee. Dibbling is probably the only one who's really Cameron Archer is trying, but the lack of goals is just a problem. I just think they're ill-equipped, they're low on confidence, and the sooner they get relegated, really, the better. The only challenge is to try and at least get double figures in terms of points for the season and avoid, being spoken about in the same vein as some of these other infamous teams from years gone by. But, you know, if this doesn't jolt them into some action, nothing will. And I shudder to think of the massacres rather that would follow when they play some of the bigger teams in the league. It's not a good time to be a Saints fan, I'm afraid.
No.
And I'll be back, Steve.
Yeah, cool, mate. Cool. No worries. Yeah. So, yeah, what Manny was saying now, I agree 100%. And, you know, it looks like they're going to go down. I can't see them getting out of that. It's mission impossible, surely, to get out of that, what they are in now, that position. But, yeah, they want to get into double figures, as Manny said. I mean, I think it's only Derby. I think it's Derby had the worst record when they went down or something. But we'll find that out in a little while. I think it may have been Derby that had the worst record when they went down for points. But yeah, I'll just go into the match report, and then we'll talk about that when he comes back. But yeah, Brentford stormed to their first away win of the Premier League season with a 5-0 victory against Southampton at St Mary's Stadium. Brilliant. Kevin Shardy's early goal and Brian Mbomo's second half brace were added to in stoppage time by Keane Lewis-Potter and Johan Visser in a totally dominant performance from the Bees as they recorded their biggest ever Premier League win. Thomas Frank made 2 changes to the starting 11 on the New Year's Day defeat to Arsenal with Matthias Jensen, who returned from injury against the Gunners as a substitute, and Shardy replacing Vitaly Janelt and Yihar Yarmouk. The Bees opened the scoring with just over 5 minutes played, and he has been so often, Mikael Damsgaard was the architect. He won a 50-50 with Paul Onuachu in the middle of the park and jinxed past Leslie Ukachukwu before playing a superb pass to Shardy in front of him. James Bree got a touch on the ball, but it wasn't enough to take it away from the German, who poked first time past Aaron Ramsdale and into the bottom corner. Damsgaard intercepted the pass deep into Saints territory as Brentford looked for a quick second, but after passing inside to Visser, the latter's shot was blocked. The visitors should have made it 2-0 midway through the half, and Bomo broke from halfway and shrugged off his man before squeezing the ball through the legs of Jan Bednarek to Visser, who was denied by Ramsdale from 8 yards. A minute later, the West Londoners went close again after Mbomo was cynically brought down on the right wing. Christian Norgard headed Jensen's whipped free kick against the crossbar. The chances kept coming, with Damsgaard showing great ball control to cut onto his left foot before dragging an effort just wide of the bottom corner. Mark Flecken was brought into action for the first time 7 minutes before the interval as the Dutch keeper collected a tame Onuachu header. Southampton finished the first period strongly and almost equalised just before half-time. Joe Aribo drove into the right side of the box and pulled the ball back to Tyler Dibling, who sent a left-footed shot into the side netting. Home boss Ivan Juric made 2 changes at the break, but the Bees continued to look the more likely. And minutes after Mads Rorsleff, he had an effort goal, crikey. Saw an effort saved, had a great chance to double their advantage. Damsgaard's low cross hit Taylor Harwood-Bellis and dropped to Visser, whose shot was heading in at the near post before the Saints defender recovered to turn it over the bar. On the resulting corner, Brentford had the ball in the back of the net, and Bomo's in-swinging corner was met by Sepp Vandenberg, who lost his marker and headed into the bottom corner from close to the penalty spot. Good header as well, very good header. The goal was disallowed following a VAR review, though, for a foul by Visser in the area. I'm still not sure it was, but it was disallowed. Not that it mattered in the end, I suppose. That gave the hosts some hope, but the West Londoners had another golden opportunity to make it 2-0 on the hour mark. Jensen's non-ball forward was flicked on by Shardy to put Visser in on goal. The Congolese striker raced forward but blazed over. Not a great finish. Should have done better. Should have got it on target. 2 minutes later, Frank's side got the second goal their dominance deserved. Flecken's long kick upfield dropped to Mbomo, with Shardy's aerial presence again causing problems for the Saints' backline. He played the ball to Visser, who cut inside before finding Mbomo with a reverse pass. And the Cameroonian blasted into the roof of the net from a narrow angle. Brilliant. What a finish. Superb goal. Brilliant. Shortly afterwards, Vandenberg was dragged down at the back post by Ogachukwu in the penalty area, and Mbomo stepped up to whip the resulting penalty past Ramsdale. Great penalty. Fantastic penalty. The West Londoners kept pushing with the next big chance going the way of Lewis Potter, who was played in behind by a deft Mbomo flick from Visser's pass. But he side-footed narrowly wide from the middle of the box. Diblin saw a low pile driver fly past the base of Flecken's left post shortly afterwards, but a third clean sheet of the season never truly looked in doubt. Yarmouth nearly added a fourth at the other, and late on as he hammered into the side of Ramsdale's goal from a tight angle. The Bees bagged 2 more goals in stoppage time. First, Parish Mag-Homer danced through 3 Saints players and found Mbomo, who unselfishly played left for Lewis Potter to slot past Ramsdale. Moments later, Visser raced into the corner of the box and curled into the back of the net to become the club's joint leading goalscorer in the Premier League with 36 alongside Ivan Toney. Ivan Toney. Sorry, bad cough. Sorry, guys. Sorry about that. Frank, one of our best Premier League performances. Yeah, Thomas Frank was proud of his side's attitude and performance in their 5-0 win at Southampton. Attitude. We spoke about that before the game. Being confident but humble. Said Frank. Yeah. Haaland, be humble. Be humble, mate. Yeah. Being confident that we are a good team and they are good players, but humble enough to put it in the intensity. Dedication, work ethic, everything it takes to put a top performance out there. I'm extremely proud of the performance. It's one of the best performances we've had in the 4 years in the Premier League. It was total control and domination from minute 1 to minute 90. We scored 5 very good goals and we could have scored more. The number of chances we had was insane. Mbomo brace and win means a lot. Brian Mbomo analysed his double in Brentford's 5-0 victory against Southampton at St Mary Stadium. When you're at a tight angle, you just try to smash it high, he reflected on his first goal. It's hard for the keeper to react, and I work a lot in training on that. It's the same for the penalty. I work a lot on that too. I'm really happy to get the first away of the season. It means a lot. The fans have been waiting for this for a while, and seeing them happy is a great thing. Exactly, Brian. I agree. It's a great thing. Brilliant. And be up to you, Mr. T. Back again. Right. And so I'm going to go into the player ratings. But before I do, what did you make of all that? Obviously, the summary of the game, match report.
Nothing that can really be said. Thank heavens for Tyler Dibbling, but the rest of them, quite frankly, just couldn't really pass the mustard. And I can't really comment very much on that. You tend to feel a bit of pity for them in some ways, but also you can't feel too much pity because they brought this on themselves. And all we can do is just hope that they'll get some respectability this year. But I think they're doomed, mate. I think they're absolutely doomed.
I mean, that was
Brentford.
Yeah, sorry, mate. Go on, carry on. Sorry.
Yeah, I'll be brief and I'll let you come back. As for Brentford, that puts the 5 and 5-star performance, but they will know that they've got to do to try and replicate that against against some teams that are frankly a lot better. You were saying?
Yeah. When you went off before, I was saying about, I think it was Derby who had the worst record for going down on points. I think, was it Derby? I'm not totally sure.
Yes, that was the season when they also had Wigan boss Paul Jewell coming in after he was sacked by the Latics, and I don't think I think Wigan also went down that season after surviving the season before, and they also reached the League Cup final that season, losing to Manchester United, for whom Ruud van Nistelrooy was on the bench and didn't get to have a minute, and I believe that on the field, and I believe that season was his final season at United before moving to Real Madrid. But Derby, in recent, whenever they've come back up to the Premiership, they've always, flattered us, even gone back down. Sunderland have been the same, and there are some teams, quite frankly, Steve, that are too good for the Championship, but they can't cut the mustard in the Premiership, and it's really disheartening to see that much of a gulf in class. We saw last season how the three teams promoted ended up straight back down: Luton, Burnley, and Sheffield United. I can only hope that the same fate doesn't befall Ipswich, Leicester, and Southampton. But Southampton are down, and I think Ipswich are showing a lot of capability of staying up. And there is still a smidgen of hope for Leicester, but they have to start, winning some games. But Southampton look really doomed.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, moving to these player ratings, and of course Flecken, well, he got a clean sheet, Manny. So I suppose I could give him a really good mark, shouldn't I? But then again, it's the opposition I'm taking into account. But a clean sheet is a clean sheet, I guess. And I can give him a good mark, actually. I'll give him a 7. I'm actually giving him a good
Fair
mark.
Enough.
Somebody clipped that. Giving him a really good mark. But I still not sure about Rawsleff, whether to give him a good mark or not. Did he do much wrong? I suppose not. But then he didn't have much there to contend with, did he? With Southampton. I'm still going to give him an average one. I'm only going to give him about 5, because I still don't think he's good enough. I really don't. I don't see it. What there is about him. I really don't. So I'll give him a lucky to get a 5. And Lewis Parr, he was fairly good. He's playing the wrong position still, but I thought he was quite good and scored a goal. I'll give him a 7.
You'll have to finish these ratings by yourself, but I think I'll agree with every one of them, and I'll be back.
No worries, mate. Cool. Cheers, bro. Lewis Parr, I would say 7. Out of position, of course. So still scored as well. So, 7 for me. I thought Jensen was really good. He adds quality there. I'm going to give him an 8, actually, Jensen. Collins, very good again. And, of course, clean sheet this time to boot for the defence. So I'll give Collins, I'm going to give him an 8, I think. But then again, he didn't have a lot to deal with. One of his easier games. But I'll still give him an 8. And Vandenberg, I'm actually going to give him an 8. I thought he had a really good game. And he was actually in his right position. And the first time I've seen him actually look really good since he's come from Liverpool, this Vandenberg. So I'm going to give him an 8. I thought he was really good. Really composed, looked good on the ball, good passing. And, so really good game from him. I hope he can take that into the bigger games against the better teams. I really do. Norgard, I thought he was great again. He really has a bad game for us. I'm going to give him a 7, not quite an 8, but 7. I thought he was fairly good, very good again. Damsgaard had a really good game. I thought he was doing a lot of good things. I'm going to give him an 8. Really good. Visser, scored, of course, as well. A much better game from him this time. Yeah, did miss one as well. blazed over when he probably should have done better. 3 on goal, 1-on-1. But obviously he scored as well. And I think he had a really great game. I'm giving him an 8. And Bomo, well, man of the match again for me. 2 goals, superb game, great penalty, great goal. A 9 for me, the man of the match from Bomo. Quality. And yeah, what a game from him yet again. Shardy, I thought he had a much better game this time, much more involved and scored. Of course, I'm going to give him a 7. Really good. The subs, Arthur not used. Homer, I thought done all right when he came on. He seemed fairly good, so I'll give him at least a 6. I think he looked fairly good. Viyama look yet again looked very good when he came on. I'm going to give him a 7. He looked very good yet again. Yeah, now didn't do enough, I don't think, when he came on. So a 5. Who else came on? Anyone else? No, that was it. So yeah, that's all the player ratings there, and so we'll move on, Manny, and we're going to the results from the weekend from the games. A lot of great games and a lot of great goals and action. Incidents, of course, where the referee involved yet again, and VAR and everything. But I'll bring all that up, and then we'll go through these scores and hear your opinions and everything. But right, let's go to this, and right, and that's the wrong one. Why have I got this one? That's not the right games. Well, anyway, Villa, they won 2-1. What did you make of that one, Manny?
Well, certainly a welcome win, and also, it's against the Leicester team that are literally in danger of getting relegated themselves. But again, you've got to, you've still got to win, and it was certainly a game where Villa struggled in the first half, and neither team really distinguished themselves. But in the second half, we saw a lot of the best action, and that's sometimes a pattern. Really, it's like in a large majority of these games, you see that the first halves are just drab, boring affairs. But once you get to the second half, it comes to life, and this game was no different. Obviously, Ross Barkley capitalizing on some pretty poor defending to fire Villa ahead. Excellent goal that was. And, he's also, in as much as his own relative lack of consistency means he doesn't start as many games as he would like for Villa, ever since coming back to the club, he has had a very good impact. He's scored in the Premiership. He scored in the Champions League. He has a knack of scoring some important goals. And, he's going to be a very important squad player for Emery and Villa as the season goes by. And they're still trying to... They still got some defensive issues. Pau Torres is, of course, out for 2 months with a broken foot. So they've got to use that rather overrated Brazilian Diego Carlos. I really to see them have Ezri Konsa and Tyrone Mings back in the defence, with Matthew Cash coming back in as right back. But they're going to need to buy some better players, if not in January, then at least next season, to make sure that they, get back to the level that they were the previous season when they qualified for the Champions League. Leicester did equalise. Vardy had a volley, brilliantly saved by Emi Martinez. But as with Mark Flecken, when he made that save, the defence to clear the ball away, and Jesus was just good to it. In the same way, Mavidi was quick to rebound, and he slotted it in. I think it was Cash and Martin. But then Leon Bailey his importance. And it was Ian Matson who replaced Luca Digne, who had a pretty good role in that winner. Very good assist, good run. And A lot of talking about how some of the purchases that were made at the beginning of the season haven't exactly, proven themselves. But they're going to start to prove themselves, and obviously will be involved in the FA Cup, and they will return to Champions League action later on this month. So they will have some important games to play, and a lot of players will definitely have big roles to play. As for Leicester, well, they've replaced their starting goalkeeper not once but twice. They still have a lot of issues in the defence. Vardy is still doing brilliantly, but not getting any younger. And in the midfield, I think they've got to start dominating a little bit more. But they've regained some spirit after Steve Cooper with Van Nistelrooy coming in. But I think Leicester have to do a lot more, and they need to start performing a little bit better, being a lot more consistent, and translating their good football to wins. And it's not going to be easy.
No, I thought it was a great win there for Villa. I mean, Leicester are still struggling.
Yeah, I'll just be back.
All right, mate. No worries. Okay. So Villa are still sort of struggling. Leicester are still struggling. But very, very good result. And as Manny said, a good return to winning ways for Villa. We went out a little bit out of order there, so obviously not in the right order, but obviously it was actually Spurs and Newcastle was the first one. But yeah, so good stuff on Villa there. Good to see him getting an important win again. So, but we go to I'll go to the Spurs Newcastle one now, and another defeat for the Spuds, I'm afraid. But Newcastle keep their winning run going here. In great form, Newcastle. Not looking easy for Arsenal. Not looking. Here he is. Not quite back yet, Manny. Not looking easy for Arsenal, Manny, with Newcastle. They're in great form. Another victory, beating Spurs 2-1 away. Oh dear, what is going wrong with Spurs, eh? Solanke scored though again. That's good news.
Yep. Typical Spurs. And Ange is now angry Ange.
Yeah.
And
definitely.
Newcastle, to compliment them, they're doing very well. Hold on a minute. Didn't you speak to him?
No, he got a call and he cannot be called back.
Okay, sorry about that, Steve.
No worries, mate.
Without speaking about Spurs first, let's talk about Newcastle. They've recovered really well from a little bit of a blip. And central to that recovery, in my opinion, has been Martin Dubravka. Prior to Solanke scoring, Dubravka came in and has kept clean sheets in 4 consecutive games. So, when he was beaten, it was after 604 minutes of action, but he's obviously lent a great deal of stability to the team following Nick Pope's injury. And the sad part is that there is some talk about a move to a Saudi Arabian club being finalized. They would be rather mad to let him go, but the problem is they need to raise some funds. They do have Lakodimos as a reserve goalkeeper, but Nick Pope hasn't exactly had the best season. So Newcastle shouldn't be hasty to get rid of regard. Hold on a minute.
Yeah, it's cool. Don't worry.
Auntie!
Keep the phone with you. Yeah, sorry about that. I really do apologize.
Yeah,
And
don't worry about it.
And they're certainly playing a lot better. Central to their performances has, of course, been Isak, still scoring goals, still being a real pain in the backside of defenders. And they certainly look a lot stronger as well. And we've got them in the League Cup semi-final. I think that's going to be this week. So that's going to be a very, very big game for us. And so we have to make sure that we're on top of our game. And as we'll talk about, that's easier said than done. As far as Spurs are concerned, you can only use the excuse of injuries to your first choice defenders and other players for so long. Sooner or later, you've got to start standing counted. They also had another casualty. In the form of Fraser Forster being unable to play because I think he had some sort of an illness. So it was Brandon Austin who came in, and there was some issue with his own defending and clearances, which was responsible for the first goal. Although, that goal really should have been disallowed because by the letter of the law, that's Joe Linton's hand when it was away from his body. And while it may not be deliberate, there is, of course, a rule which says that you cannot simply have your arm sticking out for whatever reason, when the ball comes and hits you. That could maybe be a little bit accidental, but the fact that it also ended up being an assist for that goal inadvertently, you can't allow something like that. But you can't have these hard luck stories and then say, things are going fine, because Spurs are now continuing to drop points and they're sort of falling down a little bit. And their own League Cup semi-final against Liverpool has a lot more importance, although, as we'll talk about, maybe there is a blueprint by which they can outlast Liverpool. But Spurs are slipping, the Magpies are flying again, and all's looking good under Eddie Howe.
Yeah. And all's looking good at the Vitality Stadium for Bournemouth, isn't it? Really? As well. Brilliant. 1-0 against Everton.
Yeah.
Amazing. They're going superbly, Bournemouth. Do you think they're in line for some sort of cup, Europa Cup, or anything they could qualify? Surely, the way they're going, I think they've been amazing. And David Brooks, what?
Yeah. There's a lot to like about Bournemouth under Iraola, but we also have to put again into perspective how poor Everton were. I don't even think they forced Kepa into making any kind of saves, whereas Jordan Pickford had a usual fine game where he made plenty of saves. It took a sharp volley from David Brooks, continuing his wonderful recovery from cancer, to come back and play again. Wonderful stuff from the Welshman. But very little really in terms of good quality action. And Bournemouth are continuing to pick up some points, but it will remain to be seen if they can continue to maintain that sort of form until the end of the season. It would be wonderful if little old Bournemouth could qualify for Europe, as Bill Foley put it, but they will have some bigger tests. And of course, I'm sure they will have to go to the Etihad to play against Manchester City. And as West Ham found out, that's still not an easy proposition, notwithstanding the fact that City are in a bit of slump right
now. No, I think they've been amazing all season, Bournemouth. I think, gone from strength to strength. And I think Everton actually now are in danger. Exactly. Yeah, no worries, mate. I think Everton are in danger of relegation. And I kept saying it for quite a few seasons. I think they should be going down, but they somehow stayed up. Dyche has got them out of trouble every time. But yeah, I think Bournemouth have been amazing. Really have. I think they could, finish in the top 6, 7, maybe possible for a European spot. And but I'm going to go to this game next because it's a great time to bring this man on, the City supporter, and it's AK. Be up to you, my friend. How are you doing fella.
Oh, big up, Steve. Big up. How are you doing, mate? How are you doing?
Yeah, cool, man. Cool. Hope you had a good one. Hope you had a great Christmas. Happy New Year, mate. You
Yeah,
went to India, didn't you?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. How was that? How was it? Good?
Oh, yeah. It was good. At least I managed to enjoy the summer over there. The nice heat.
Yeah, mate. Yeah. When you come back here, it's bloody freezing your balls off, isn't it? It's weather, isn't it? Yeah, man. But unfortunately, you come back to not. You come back to a great result, to be honest. So you got 4-1 against West Ham, but they're shit, really, aren't they? West Ham. Let's be honest.
Oh,
They're crap.
West Ham. I'm telling you, West Ham under that Lopetegui is in some form of danger. They're literally in relegation form.
Mm.
And of course, my team, yeah, kudos. At least it's not just this match. I mean, the last match we also won convincingly. But yeah, I'm gonna say this is a morale boosting victory for the team as they needed it. And Savinho once
Guys,
again, yeah, and
he's all.
Savinho once again, he's proving to be that man on the wings to provide assists and chances for Erling Haaland, who have scored 2 goals,
Yeah.
and it's a good sign though. I mean, because the team needs this. The team needs a morale boosting victory like this, and hopefully we can conjure up more results like this and just build up the confidence from there.
Yeah. Manny's here as well, okay. I'm sure. I don't know if you spoke with him much over Christmas or New Year, or was it in India, I believe. Did you meet up, you two, or anything like that?
Nah, personally, no.
Oh, right. I think did you meet up with, what's his name, Arnie?
Yeah, I met up with Arnie, yeah,
Yeah.
in London.
Did you? Yeah.
Yeah, we met up at Hammersmith.
Oh, right. Oh, cool. Yeah, I bet that was a good laugh with you two.
Oh, that was a good laugh, yeah, with some couple of Arsenal fans in there, just shouting like drunken people over there, and they're putting on that stressed face.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Well, you forget about everything that's going on in it with your team, innit? Over Christmas, you sort of celebrating everything else, innit? Takes your mind off it at the end of the day. So
Yes, Steve. At least it was a good break away from City because
yeah,
the
bro.
form that we were in before Christmas. Oh my God! I mean, I was fuming. I was literally fuming, and I literally don't want to take a mental toll on my head, so that's why I just decided to just leave it until New Year's and come back to it.
Yeah, it was looking bleak, wasn't it?
It was looking bleak. Yeah, it was looking bleak.
Yeah, man. But is that 2 or 3 wins in a row? I mean, you won the other day. Was it 3-1? Wasn't it? You won the other game.
Yeah, 3-1, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you're getting sort of results back together again.
But Steve, the drawback was we drew to Everton.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. Well, a lot of teams have actually. A lot of 0-0s, isn't there? I mean, we drew 0-0. So yeah, they don't score many goals, but they don't concede that many either. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're getting back to it. I don't think you're still going to win the Prem, mate. I think
Nah, I'll tell you, Steve. I think this is Liverpool's. This is Liverpool's to win.
Yeah, despite only drawing against United, but yeah, I think they will. I still think they can do it.
They will do it.
Yeah, for sure, and yeah, well, it was a little bit. I mean, it's great.
Yeah. So Arnie,
AK. It's AK.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, Manny.
I'll just chime in. First of all, AK, Happy New Year
Mm.
and another article and Vargo Almadan. To all of those of you who can't speak Tamil, I just said Happy New Year and live life to the fullest. So whenever we're on together, we exchange a lot of pleasantries. And I'll just say briefly, Arnie, if you're watching this,
Oh, right.
despite everything that you will say, this title is yours to lose. And I do sort of agree, and I will sort of get AK's views on this because the scoreline sometimes doesn't tell the whole story. You know, West Ham did have their chances against you lot, and I think if it weren't for Ortega, you might have conceded a few, yes?
I think, yeah, I mean, like Ortega, I mean, like if it was Edison on goal, then I would say, yeah. I would say yes, definitely this could have been another draw. But again, Ortega again rising up to the occasion and showing that why he's the best backup keeper. He's actually our best number one at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a great keeper. He is. Where was he before? Ortega? I can't remember where he came from.
He was in Germany.
Oh, Germany. Oh, what, in the Bundesliga? Oh.
Yeah, he was in the Bundesliga, yeah.
Where was it, Borussia or something? Or where was he?
I think Hamburg.
Oh, Hamburg. Oh, right. Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah, they're not a bad team, Hamburg, are they? I don't know where they are in the league. I don't know what exactly they've done, but yeah. But I mean, he's a good keeper though. He looks really good, mate. And I think you know he's good deputy for Edison, obviously. I think because you know what's going on with Edison, I think it's a little bit poor from him this season. Would you say, Edison, or?
Yeah, I would say Edison has not been him this season, and yeah, some big games, some big games he has costed us, and of course, due to injury, he had to sit on the sidelines and just let Ortega do his thing. But I have to say, Ortega has been better than Edison so far.
Yeah, so he deserves to keep going. I think if Edison comes back, I'd keep Ortega in, wouldn't you? For sure.
Yeah, for sure. I would actually keep Ortega.
Yeah, he deserves to stay. His performances, you know, means he should stay in goal. So, but yeah, and I thought Savinho was superb as well. Brilliant. What a performance.
Yeah, Savinho's making his mark. He's making his mark.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. Yeah, but as West Ham goes, I think old Flopategui will be out soon, shouldn't he? I'm surprised he's lasted this long, to be honest, at West Ham. So I think it won't be much longer before he's gone.
I think Mike needs to answer that.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
sorry,
what
Mike.
I will say is that the only thing that's keeping Sloppy Teggy in a job is the fact that there are 3 or 4 teams in the league that are quite frankly so abysmal that they will get relegated before West Ham do. And West Ham will always have a knack of being able to pull out a useful win here and there. I think Fabianski is very unfortunate to be out. He was playing Bentley after replacing Areola. And they've still got some injury issues of their own. And they're not really being able to put up a coach. There are a lot of issues which will probably dictate that you know, the manager will stay for now. But at the end of the season, when they conduct a review, I think he might end up leaving, and that should be probably the way it will be. But I see you've got a new game up, Palace against Chelsea, and the Maresca choke is happening yet again, isn't it?
They're definitely not in the title race, are they, Chelsea? I don't think. Not now.
I'll be back, boys.
Yeah, okay, man. No worries, bro. I thought one stage they may have been in it. AK, what do you think?
I think Crystal Palace are more than happy to get a to get a point against Chelsea, who have been in actually really good form.
I have, yeah.
And Maresca, I think he needs to mix up a bit here and there, because he's lost to Fulham and now he's drawn to Palace. So I think Maresca is gonna do some bit of mix and match here and there, and they're gonna get back to winning ways. But all I have to say is, Cole Palmer, he is proving to be that man for Chelsea.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Mr. Ice Cold, Cole Palmer. Ice
Ice cold Palmer, innit?
Yeah, man. Another one you let go, by the way, AK. Why are you letting these great players go and they're doing well elsewhere?
I'll tell you what. I blame Tiki. I blame the board for this.
Yeah.
I literally blame the board for this. We let the best players leave, and look at where they are right now. They're balling.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 100%.
I mean, Julian Alvarez at Atletico, Cole Palmer at Chelsea, Delap at Ipswich.
Yeah.
It's a mistake that we keep on doing year after year.
Yeah. And do you think McAtee might go? I think we're linked with him, apparently. McAtee, yeah. Apparently we are linked with him. So...
I mean, I haven't heard much about McAtee's condition and all that, whether he wants to leave or... I mean, I haven't heard much about McAtee, but he is another generational talent that we want to keep, but it all depends on Pep at this rate.
Yeah, what do you make of that, Manny? What do you think with City? But letting these players go, and they're all doing well elsewhere, and really they should be keeping them, shouldn't they? They're that good.
Yeah, that's the problem. That is the problem, and I think AK will agree with me on this. You cannot be a checkbook club, and obviously letting those players go was not cheeky, pun intended. It was just downright diabolical. You've got to make sure that you do have a core of homegrown players who are getting more opportunities. I think they're trying to redress the balance by giving Rico Lewis and Simpson Pusi, some opportunities to play in the first team. And Lewis obviously has done pretty well, and he might be the long-term successor to Kyle Walker. In fact, Walker's days at City are done. I believe Edison's also done. And, unless you maintain that sort of a youthful core, that homegrown core, you're not going to get very far. And when you consider that Scott Carson, who has now been making appearances on the bench, was only really signed to fill the homegrown quota role, how many games has that bloke played? And yet he's picked up medals and big money left, right, and centre. It's like, as Mark Knopfler said, money for nothing and medals for free. And
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I just hope Knopfler's not a City fan, and I think given that he's a Geordie, he might support Newcastle, but that's besides the point.
So, yeah.
And he had a similar issue, of course, when, under Arsene Wenger, we were criticised for not letting too many homegrown players come through and allowing several of them to walk away and play elsewhere. Serge Gnabry is one example. I believe he came to Arsenal as a boy from Germany and was a big part of our Hale End crop, and he was being sent out on loan. And long story short, he went back to Germany. He's playing for Bayern Munich. He's won Bundesliga titles. He's won the Champions League. He's a full international with Die Mannschaft. Some of our clubs will just never learn. And when you have a situation where you end up becoming a checkbook team at the expense of the young players, it can't be sustainable. And obviously, Palmer's done great things for Chelsea. But as I've said, Chelsea, for some reason, have now started to hit a little bit of a slump where they can't seem to improve on their advantage, and defensively they look pretty shaky in many ways. They've now dropped several points, including against Ipswich and now against a Crystal Palace team that also should be fighting relegation. But I think Glasner's doing some good things with them. Maybe he's not having the luck. And, you know, Chelsea are going to have to find a way to get out of this funk sooner rather than later. But you know, you've got this match up right here. And while we may not necessarily be in a funk, we are continuing to flatter to deceive and prove why we will not be winning the league this season. And I don't care what people say. We were not robbed. We were not good enough. But Steve, do please introduce this match.
Yes. More points dropped, Manny, for Arsenal. Brighton 1, Arsenal 1. You didn't look really up for this, did you? I mean, I don't actually think you were that great against us. I know you did beat us fairly well in the end, 3-1. But I don't think it was that convincing a performance against us. And, you know, really, if we'd been on it more, we got into it more and we're 1-0 up and we let you equalise through bad goalkeeping. But if we'd done better, we could have beaten you, really, in that game on New Year's Day, to be honest.
Exactly.
But I think Brighton have got a lot more about them. And they... really, you could have said maybe they could have won it, Brighton. But I thought you were lucky to get a point here, really. I mean, okay, we know what happened, bit controversial, and we'll be going into that in a little while about that decision, of course, for the penalty. But what do you make of it overall, this, Manny? It was another poor performance, really, wasn't it, from Arsenal?
Mate, poor doesn't even begin to describe it. I mean, the lineup was completely wrong. You've got Partey playing at right back because Jurrien Timber's suspended. You've got Calafiori playing at left back, who really is only good for being a model. But the man can't, you know, defend for Toffee. I was surprised we went for him, given he was one of, you know, the biggest culprits for Italy flattering to deceive in the Euros, to be quite frank with you. We played Declan Rice despite having injury problems, playing with a broken toe and what have you. You know, the lineup was just not right. The one saving grace, I would say, was Ethan Nwaneri, proving that he's more than capable of backing up Bukayo Saka. And at least I will give Arteta some credit, because when he Nwaneri's debut, just so that he could have the record for, you know, having the youngest ever Premiership debutant, I thought that was the most rotten thing he could do. But this season, he's giving Nwaneri more opportunities, and he could prove to be as important to Arsenal as Harvey Elliott is to Liverpool in many ways. But apart from Nwaneri, we flattered to deceive. We didn't look up for it, as you said. And Leandro Trossard, as Lee Gunner said, might as well have been back playing for the Seagulls instead of the Gunners. We got him from the Seagulls. If Ben White were fit and able to play, who knows how well he would have performed. He probably would have allowed one of his old mates to skin him alive and say, help yourself to a goal, mate. But it was just poor. And this was a match we needed, because Brighton have also been dropping points and not really, you know, performing with any conviction. And we needed to win. But in the second half, we just didn't have the urgency. And I'm going to make something crystal clear about the penalty. It was a nailed-on penalty. People are going to say, but Saliba got the ball. He headed the ball. No, he didn't, you absolute melts. And forgive me for doing a league impersonation. The ball effectively came onto Saliba's head, so Saliba touched it, and then Saliba headbutted, you know, João Pedro, and he fell to.
That was a clear penalty.
AK agreed. Definitely a clear penalty, because, you know, the more you see it, gentlemen, and I don't know if we're going to talk about this right now. Maybe I will say, the more you see it, the more you are convinced that it wasn't completely accidental. And Saliba would have been lucky, in my opinion, to have escaped very severe punishment. I don't even know if he might have been booked for that. I don't quite remember. But yeah, the referees, obviously that's the announcement, of course. VAR deemed it sufficient. And I say credit to Anthony Taylor. He got that decision right. And we shouldn't blame that decision for our inability to, even threaten Bart Verbruggen in the Brighton goal, who was at fault for Nwaneri's goal, but didn't really have anything to do afterwards. And that's an indictment on us. And Saliba and Gabriel have started to make quite a few mistakes, started to be a little bit sloppy and inconsistent. And even David Raya has shown moments of sloppiness. And segueing back to David Raya, it's not that I don't rate the bloke, okay, Steve? I think he has his good qualities, and certainly he's, done well so far. But the problem with Arteta is that he doesn't want quality players. He wants system players. Now, this is going to be interesting because while this former ref might say that that the penalty was the wrong call, Dermot Gallagher on the Premier League channel said no, it was absolutely the right call. And there was also, of course, an occasion when we played West Ham at the London Stadium, not the Berlin ground, when our ex-keeper Fabianski punched Gabriel in the head. He was entitled to go for the ball, but because the timing was off, it was deemed a penalty. In the same way, Saliba's timing was completely off, so it was a penalty. But let's hear what Peter Walton has to say, and I'm going to tell you if I agree or disagree with him. And AK, you can also comment on whether you agree with him. I know you don't, but I'm going to let you have the first comment on what he says. But Steve, please read the article, mate.
Yeah, sure, man. No worries. Former referee Peter Walton, old John Boy, is the latest pundit to suggest that Brighton shouldn't have been awarded a penalty for a clash of heads between João Pedro and William Saliba on Saturday. Couple of days on from Arsenal's draw with Brighton and Hove Albion, TV pundits, former referees and ex-players continue to suggest that Saturday's hosts won fairly awarded a penalty for their equalising goal. Former ref Peter Walton is the latest to do so in the Times in their print edition on Monday, January 6, writing that referee Anthony Taylor overthought the clash of heads between João Pedro and William Saliba. Walton pointed out that VAR, Darren England, should have intervened to inform Taylor that Saliba had touched the ball and it shouldn't be a penalty, given that was the vital piece of evidence Taylor was missing. But instead, England let the wrong call stand. Former player Jay Bothroyd agreed, saying, initially when I did first see it at full pace from the first two replays, I did think it was a penalty. But it's the third replay from a different angle where you can actually see Saliba touch the ball with his head. And when he touches the ball with his head, it's not a penalty. The Match of the Day pundits came to the same conclusion as well, with Danny Murphy saying, players come together accidentally going for the ball. I don't want to see penalties given for most people don't. I agree, Gary Lineker added, I've watched football for far too long and I've never seen a penalty given for a clash of heads. It happens in every corner. Sadly, there's no recourse for Arsenal now. It's just another unprecedented decision against the Gunners that we'll likely not see again for a very long time, if ever. It would be nice if the obvious mistake in this case highlighted the issue and prevented similar calls from being made in the future. But it's a shame that Mikel Arteta's side always seems to be the guinea pigs for these decisions.
Oh, come on.
Come on. This is too much.
Yep. These are so-called experts. They got it totally fucking wrong. Totally wrong.
They're all playing pity for Arsenal. They're playing the pity card for Arsenal. That's what they're doing. And it's shameful. I mean, that was a clear pen. And with my very own two eyes, I literally saw that was a clear pen. And my decision and my decision and yeah, whatever. I mean, it doesn't change a thing. It was a clear pen, and Brighton deserved it. Simple as that.
Yeah, for sure. And
I
think
agree.
Yeah,
And
go on.
are you sure that was John Boy or was that Jim Boy?
I think you just say good night to him, I think, after that comment anyway. But yeah, it's just no. I mean, it was a penalty, a nailed on penalty all day long, wasn't it, guys? You know, it really was.
Exactly, and you know what Watson doesn't realise is that the only reason why Saliba gets to touch the ball with his head is that the ball comes towards his head. Now, it wasn't as if, I mean, had Saliba pretty much moved, taken the initiative and moved towards the direction of the ball a lot more forcefully and gotten it, then you could say that. But he got the timing completely wrong, Saliba. The ball hit his head because it was, sort of propelled towards his head. But because Saliba had to follow through, he bashed into João Pedro's head and he fell down. Sorry, but that's a penalty. You see similar penalties being given when, it's an accidental trip with the leg. So this has to be a penalty. And let's consider the source. Arsenal website devoted to one of many Arsenal blog sites devoted to, genuflecting towards Mikel Arteta and Arsenal. Jay Bothroyd is a former Arsenal youth player. I was a bit surprised to hear ex-Tottenham players Danny Murphy and Gary Lineker come out in support of that. But, what was even worse was on the Premier League channel, which is how I get my feed, and AK will know about this because in Premier League games, he'll know that they're on Star Sports, but we get it via the Premier League channel. Hearing Ian Wright moan and mope about that, saying that cannot be a penalty, blah, blah, blah. I mean, man, knock it off. I know that you love the club too much, but, you've got to accept that that was a penalty. And Glenn Murray also agreed. Dermot Gallagher agreed. And the more you see it, the clearer it is. And you should never, ever use a call like that to say that you were robbed when, frankly, in that second half, you did nothing to try and win the game. Ethan Nwaneri was taken off as a precaution, and we now know that he's got a bit of a muscle injury. So I'm a bit worried as to how the team will line up. It could very well be that Martinelli will be on the right and Trossard maybe on the left. We've got to play literally our strongest team against Newcastle, partly because Neto is cup side, and we don't want to have the teenager Setford going in goal against the Magpies up against Alexander Isak. No, thank you. So this is absolutely ridiculous. It was a nailed-on penalty, and Arsenal should take their lumps and move on. It's ridiculous. And Brighton were good value for the point. They could actually hunt it. I think it was Mitoma who had come on in the second half and. Had he gotten to a wonderful cross in the penalty area on time, that would have certainly been a goal. Consider Paul Gascoigne against Germany in extra time in the Euro semi-finals. I'm sorry for bringing that up, England fans, but I have to. In the same way, if Mitoma had timed his run better, that would have been 2-1, and I don't think we would have had the energy to even fight back. And that was as poor a performance as you could get. And we're going to have situations where we have some, wins, lucky wins against teams and have people saying, yes, we're in the title race. But then games like this are proof of why we will never win anything. It will continue to be the bridesmaids, but never the bride. And sooner or later, you've got to say, enough's enough. Someone who will make us a bride. Someone who will give us a bit of a makeover. Arteta ain't it.
Yeah. What's your opinions on that, AK?
Yeah, I mean, about the penalty. I had no second thoughts about that penalty. That penalty was clear as day. And I mean, Arsenal, even though, look, I don't hate Arsenal fans like Manny and Northside and all the other real Arsenal fans that I've known, but if TV just needs to shut the fuck up and move on.
Yeah, definitely, bro, definitely. But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't. They feel so hard done by these Arsenal fans, don't they? And I mean, it was clear it was a penalty. Let's be honest. And all day long, I think it only actually happened once before that it was given. I think in a Scottish game, I think it was. Was it the Rangers? I think it's Rangers and Celtic or something. Well, it's some Scottish game apparently. The first time it'd ever been given before. I don't know if you know that, Manny, that it was only given once before this sort of thing for a penalty. Clash of heads in the penalty area. I think it was in the Scottish game, apparently. It'll be up to Del Boy. Great to see you in here, bro. What's the crack? What's the bean story, Mr. B? My man Manny and AK. I'm working here listening to you guys. Sorry I can't join. No worries, bro. It's cool. No worries. But anyway, so what's your opinions on that, Manny?
On what?
On, what was it? Sorry, I lost the train of thought here. Because I just done that comment. What was he? We were talking about the...
Talking something in the...
Sorry, I can't hear you, mate.
Something in the Scottish League, I think, Steve.
Oh, yeah, that's it. You know, only happened once before.
Hold on a minute.
It happened once before, apparently, in a game in Scotland, I believe. So do you? I mean, it has actually happened. It's not okay. It's not regular occurrence. But do you think it could happen again now? Do you think it would be given every time now?
It possibly could, and it sort of segues back into what I was talking about on an earlier stream of yours about how, you know, we need to start consider phasing heading out of the game, given the increasing occurrence of, you know, all of these brain injuries that have been taking place, especially among former footballers, former central defenders. But no, that's the right ball, and it's handled. Then, you know, you can't say there wasn't the precedent. Now, one of the reasons why, and I will say this briefly, and then we'll move on to the next game, is that one of the reasons why there was so much anger was that earlier on that Spurs played Newcastle, and there what should have been, in fact, a nailed-on penalty when Dejan Kulusevski shoulder barged almost Anthony Gordon and very nearly broke his nose. That should definitely have been a penalty in many ways. I think that might look because Spurs went on to lose that game, but the thing about consistency, you know, being mentioned, that definitely has to apply. I don't know if AK saw that. I'm sure you might have seen it, Steve, but what happened with Kulusevski and Gordon, that wasn't a coming together. That was literally Kulusevski just trying to, you know, get the ball, but also moving his shoulder into Gordon's face and almost breaking his nose. That should have been a nailed-on penalty, and it wasn't given. But the fact that Spurs lost meant that justice was probably done anyway. But I'm sure you boys might have seen that. That should have been a nailed-on penalty, maybe.
Yeah, I thought so for sure as well, 100%. You go in someone like that, you're going to break their nose or whatever. That's terrible, I thought. It's terrible tackle. How he got away with that, I really don't know. But what about you, AK? What do you think about that, buddy? Did you see it?
I talking about the Arsenal game.
No, Spurs, Kulusevski with...
No.
Oh, yeah, that one. Oh, yeah. I mean, in my view, I mean, I couldn't see from a different angle lately, but yeah, I mean, it goes to show that referees do tend to make bad calls like that and get away with it, but hey, it's a Premier League for you. It happens.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah. I thought it was a disgraceful one, that by Kulusevski, I thought. But still, you know, it just shows how bad this is, this refereeing and VAR, and how inconsistent that they give one thing and then don't give another. It's been shit for the whole last year and everything with VAR. You don't know what you're going to get with it. it's supposed to have helped. It's supposed to have taken, obvious errors away. But I don't think it has done it enough. I don't know about if you think that as well, gents, but I don't think it has taken these obvious errors away or done anything better.
Steve, I've been telling you that when it comes to VAR, there has to be more retroactive work done, more reviews about decisions, but also some strict guidelines as to what constitutes fouls and what doesn't, especially when it comes to the Saliba Pedro incident. You've now got to have some stricter guidelines about coming together, accidental or deliberate. And certainly with Kulusevski and Gordon, that really, the more you see that, the more sickened you get. But again, that's not going to happen because they love the controversy. It's a money spinner. And the more people talk about it, the more dosh rolls into the Premier League, the PGMOL. They're buttering their bread on both sides, as we would say. But, certainly when it comes to penalties, this one really took the biscuit. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, a tale of 3 penalties in the end, really. Some game this, I thought. I really enjoyed this one, Fulham and Ipswich, and it was a slow burner to start with, but it really, took off in the second half, I think, as well. And I thought, well, did you think Ipswich were unlucky? I thought they were unlucky to not get it. Well, they got a point, but probably should have won it, really. I thought they were a little bit better than Fulham at times. And, Fulham managed
AK, why don't you...
Yeah, go on, AK. What do you make of this, mate?
Yeah.
Oh, this one, Fulham Ipswich. I have to say, Ipswich, they are just, I don't know, they're in some inconsistent run of form at the moment, but yeah, Ipswich, what else can I say about McKenna's, what can I say about McKenna? He's literally, I think, the only manager for Ipswich that is actually making the team play well and showing their class of football, in my opinion. But I would say for Ipswich, it was a well-deserved point for them. That they're at least happy to take a point away from Fulham.
Yeah. But what I tell you what, though, I still think I really do rate Raul Jimenez, and I've rated him for a long time. And I know he had that bad head injury, but I'm glad he came back brilliantly from that. And he's still scoring, and got 2 important penalties here. That was incredible, superb from him. And, it proves what a goal scorer, if you get a goal scorer like that, what they can do. And that's somebody I wish we had, somebody like him at times, it's really does finish it off. He's a predator and scores goals. And, I think he was amazing. And also, but I thought...
and Steve, I want to talk about Liam Delap.
Yeah,
Liam Delap. I know he's from our academy, and hopefully we somehow think of we hopefully think in the right direction and somehow get Liam Delap back. But I don't see that happening, unfortunately. But I have to say, Liam Delap, he is actually saving Ipswich.
He is. Yeah, what a player. Another one you've let go. Why? Tell me, man. Why have you let him go?
Like I said, this is, I don't know, this is like I said, this is another mistake again and again that we make, and it's annoying that we let our best players from our academy leave like this. And I hope this changes. I hope this changes with Viana coming in, and I hope this changes with Hugo Viana coming in, and just start doing the business. And Tiki, I've had enough of him. I've had enough of him. Seriously.
Yeah. Yeah. I hear you, man. I hear you. What about you, Manny? What do you make of this game?
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. You know, in recent times, we've been talking about how Ipswich could very well end up doing what Luton Town couldn't and staying up. And certainly that win over Chelsea, you know, provided some glimpses of that. And, you know, Ipswich actually have had a decent record against London teams this season, beating Spurs 2-1 at Tottenham Stadium, that brilliant win over Chelsea. And they didn't really, you know, disgrace themselves when they lost 1-0 to us at the Emirates. And now they very nearly succeeded where we miserably failed. We lost to them at Craven Cottage, but Ipswich were minutes away from winning. But yet again, you see why they only have 1 point instead of 3. That inexperience. You can't just, you know, commit that sort of a foul on someone in the penalty area like that. I think that was just naivety and inexperience, and that led to the second Jimenez penalty. And, you know, that was the way it finished. And Jimenez himself said after the match that in as much as we're happy with the character we showed, there's no way that we can be satisfied with merely a point against a team like Ipswich. No disrespect. We've got to start being a little bit more consistent. And I do like the look of Fulham. Obviously, I'm biased because they've got 3 ex-Gunners in their team. 4, of course, if you count the currently on loan Reece Wilson. And, you know, they look...
Yeah, I think he's gone. I think he's gone again, mate. Yeah, I think he might have gone. Yeah, I think Manny's gone. Are you still there, mate? Are you still there, bro? Manny? You still there, fella? Well, he's gone, I think. I don't know.
Hold.
You still there, bro?
1, 2. I'm back. I'm back. Sometimes, you know, my phone plays tricks on me and my mic goes off. And as I was saying, I think apart from Delap, you've also got to tip your hat to Sammy Smodic. What a fine player he proving to be. So it isn't just Delap, AK, that's playing Ipswich. I think Smodic and a few other ones are also playing a good role. Ever since Christian Walton came back in the starting lineup, they look very good defensively and have some results. But, you know, you can't have that sort of naivety against any team in the Premiership, never mind a team like Fulham. And that is where, you know, they've got to improve. Fulham obviously will be disappointed to have conceded 2, but they also show that they are more than capable of fighting and competing and giving some teams a bloody nose. And well done as well to Bernd Leno, who made a worldie of a save in the second half, which proved to be crucial. I think that was when Fulham were, I think they were still 1-0 down or 2-1 down. It might have been 1-0 down. His last full season with us in the first team was poor, and I didn't rate him and wanted him gone. But he's improved, he's become better. And I tell you what, I wouldn't necessarily mind having him back at Arsenal, but he doesn't want to come back. But this was definitely a fine game indeed. And I mean, I don't know if I watched it fully, but I really would have enjoyed it. I think I only caught the second half. But it was definitely a game worth watching, and I really enjoyed it. Well done to both teams.
Yeah, it was a great game. Brilliant game. But do you think this guy can make a difference, Ben Godfrey? Has joined Ipswich. From Atlanta. Was played over here for Everton. Was it Everton and Norwich? I think he played for over here.
He could do some good things under McKenna, and I'll be very interested to see how well he does. A fairly astute signing. January.
Yeah, he's still only 26, Manny. He's of course had 2 caps for England. Obviously played with Norwich and
Wow.
Everton. He's on loan from Atalanta. He went there, obviously, in Italy. Oh, he looked really good. He looked a really good player. I mean, he could make a difference, you know, to their defence.
He could.
I mean, okay, you might want somebody with a bit more experience than him. Oh, yeah, he has played over here a bit, but as we know in the Premier, but somebody a bit older than, I'd say somebody like nearer 30 odd, or somebody that's had a lot more experience would help their defence even more. You know, because as you say, that was inexperience, and I think was it Leif Davis that done that stupid tackle in the end. So
Yes.
yeah, he's only a young guy himself, isn't he, young man? So they have got an inexperience there, unfortunately. But I still think they're good enough, and hopefully I hope they stay up. I really do. They're a very good team, Ipswich, I think. So hope they don't do a Luton. I really do. But let's get back to the other games now. We move on to the last game. Well, the last game from yesterday, of course. And that was this one. Liverpool 2, Man United 2. What a game. What a game. Certainly that second half, especially. Incredible. Just burst into life in the second half, didn't it? With what a goal by Martinez as well. Great finish.
Yep.
Got them 1-0 up United. So, what do you think about this, AK? Seems though they're your rivals, Man United. Managed to get a draw with Liverpool. Incredible.
Yeah, that was incredible. That was incredible. Not gonna lie. I mean, United. I thought, thought from the first half, the way they were playing, I thought they're gonna lose by 5 goals at
Ooh,
Anfield. But
yeah.
United, I don't know. I mean, they are somehow a very weird team, in my opinion. I mean, they're so inconsistent that against the mid table teams they fold, but if it's the big games, they turn up. I mean, I seriously don't get this United side at all. I mean, Liverpool, with the amount of chances they had, Liverpool should have at least buried this game.
Yeah.
They should have buried this game.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. 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 It was almost like a basketball game, though, wasn't it? It was going one way than the other, and I think both defences weren't great at times. They looked a bit shaky, didn't they? Really. So I don't know. I think, but brilliant attacking, great play going forward. I thought Ahmad played really well again for Man United. Was really great. Yeah, they've got some good young players there, Man United. But of course Liverpool as well. Well, yeah, I think they're still going to win the Prem. I don't think this was that bad a point for them in the end. A lot of people said it was they dropped points here, but still a point is still good enough. They haven't lost the game, so I think Liverpool is theirs to lose. You know, they're still in control, as we said about Arnie. He likes to moan and whinge, Mr. AirPod, about all this, that he thinks they're going to capitulate and lose out. I don't think you will. I don't think you will, Arnie. Come on, man. None of that. Stop moaning, bro. I've had enough of it. You're going to win it. Come on, man. You know, I'd love to be in your position. I really
Be
would.
back, Steve. Give me a minute.
All right, Manny. No worries, bro. But yeah, we'd all love to be in this position, wouldn't we, AK? You know?
Yeah, and I've been telling Arnie this, that look,
Mm.
the way your team's playing, yeah, the way Liverpool's playing, I can tell that they are gonna go well ahead of us and win the league.
Yeah.
I give no second thoughts about that. They're gonna win the league. We are out of it. We will be in the race. We will be in the race. Yeah, we will be in the race, but we won't win the Prem this season. I feel. I think our main focus is going to be the Champions League and the FA Cup.
Mm. Yeah. Do you think you got a really good chance of the Champions League then? Or
I mean, depends on January. I mean, it's already January, so I'm just hearing some new names that are just coming up in our on our transfer list, and yeah, we seriously need to get the business done fast, because if we don't sign anyone, I'm gonna say this: we're finished.
Yeah. I think you are, mate. I think you are. That's the first time I've seen City in this state, to be honest. And yeah, you come back with some good results lately, but I still don't. I think you're falling out of it with all that, that bad forms you were in when you were losing games and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Done it.
Exactly.
That done it, man. And with Walker, you got too many. He's finished, Walker, and there's so many others there that are not good enough, and should be out the door, mate. As far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, completely agree with everything that you boys have said. And of course, AK will not want to remember that his Manchester City team lost to Ruben Amorim's United at the Etihad. And coming back to what AK was saying about, the inconsistency of this team, I just think there's something about playing against Liverpool and some other big teams that tends to jolt these players into life. I think they want to try and impress against the big teams and prove that they can be spoilers. But the problem is as inconsistent as they are, spoilers is really all they'll ever be. And I think Liverpool fans will probably be saying that if they never get to see Amad Diallo again, it will be too soon, because, of course, in Jurgen Klopp's final season, it was Diallo who scored that breathtaking winner that knocked Liverpool out of the FA Cup, if memory serves me right. And he ended up scoring the equaliser here. Of course, Salah was man of the match, trying to make a lot of things happen. He scored that fine penalty, which Onana nearly, but couldn't because it was just too too well hit. And of course, Gakpo had a fine equaliser to match Martinez's excellent opener. So this game also came to life in the second half. It really did. It burst into fireworks, a little bit like those Diwali crackers that AK and I enjoy quite a bit. I mean, not the crackers so much because the noise is horrible, but the fireworks definitely.
Yeah.
And Liverpool have only themselves to blame for being a little bit complacent and lackadaisical defensively. And as far as Trent Alexander is concerned, I think on the basis of his performance, forget about Tranmere Rovers.
Terrible.
Yeah, forget about Tranmere Rovers, Roy Keane. He wouldn't even be good enough to play for Accrington Stanley. Accrington Stanley, who are they? I mean, many of us do. And
lots of milk. Oh, you're going to have to play for Atkinson Stanley. Atkinson Stanley. Who are they?
Accrington Stanley.
Exactly.
Accrington Stanley.
Get off.
I remember that advert from, what was it, 80s, wasn't it? Early 80s, I think.
And I think, late 80s, early 90s, I think. That's how I remember it. And I think it's fair to say that Trent clearly didn't think his men before the game. So I think Ian Rush should be on his case right now. And of course, there was talk about Trent possibly being swayed by the bright lights of Real Madrid. And this sort of segues to the talk that you and I were having, Steve, about Mbeumo and whether or not he might be swayed to move. I think what we're seeing with Arnold is effectively a person whose head has been turned, who no longer really feels committed to Liverpool. And I think Liverpool fans, credit to them, they can, snuff out whether or not a player is definitely committed to the cause. And while Salah's continuing to do some really good things, Trent just seems to be a little bit lackadaisical of late. And we all know that as wonderful as he is going forward and attacking and as great a foot and a cross he has, he's no David Beckham and he can't defend for Tuffy.
No.
I mean, maybe he could be almost as good as David Beckham. I mean, he might not bend it like Beckham, but he can twist it like Trent or angle it like Arnold or whatever or whatever have you. But he just seems to be a little bit distracted. When you have a situation, he, Van Dijk and Salah have contract discussions, and even Van Dijk still had a few hairy moments, as did Ibrahima Konate. It's their defense that can let them down. But as I've said, whenever they have these setbacks, they go on mini runs of 3 or 4 games, pick up a good 12 points to pad their lead. And as long as Chelsea and Arsenal are going to continue to flatter to deceive, Liverpool should just continue to do what they're doing. And I think AK will agree with me that in as much as City have improved, they're just so far behind. They still have a lot of big issues themselves defensively that I cannot see them catching Liverpool at this at any stage. Of course, I mean, Liverpool.
No, money.
Have some reason
money.
To be
like
angry
I said,
because I think it was in 2021 that Liverpool were
money
ahead.
Like I
only
said,
to City.
money. Like I said, Arnie, he needs to admit that they're gonna win the league now. Enough is enough. Liverpool, this is theirs to win. We have no chance of winning it by the looks of our form.
No, for sure. I mean, they're still in the driving seat, mate.
I agree. I agree. And as long as Liverpool. Exactly. And I'll just be brief. As long as they will respond to this particular draw by getting wins in their next few games, it will be interesting to see how well they do against Nottingham Forest, obviously, because revenge will be on their minds. But if they can nick a 1-0 or 2-1 win, that sort of redresses the balance, and then that keeps them going forward. And then there'll be some other games, including a trip to the G-Tech against your lot, Steve. And I know that you will be hopeful of maintaining your excellent home form against them, and you can get at them. You'll have to tighten up a little bit yourself. But this league is still Liverpool's to win. And as far as United are concerned, I'm sorry, but there is no way we can take a team seriously that is able to step up performances against really big teams, but then flattered to deceive by losing to the likes of Newcastle at home. And, Amorim still has many problems. I think I will give him credit and say that tactically and with the lineup, he got it spot on. I think it's fair to say that Christian Eriksen and Casemiro have played their last games for Manchester United, and they will be departing this season. And then next season, maybe you'll have an opportunity to freshen it up a little bit, get some new players in, provide some competition for some of the starters who might be a little bit complacent. And maybe, they'll move forward. But this season, I don't see them qualifying for Europe. I don't see them, going on a run. All they'll be good for, the only thing for which they will have value, is mucking up some team's title race. And I don't think it'll be Liverpool's. Could it be Arsenal's? We have to play them at Old Trafford. Could it be against Chelsea? We'll have to see. But this title is Liverpool's to win. Once they shake it off and win their games and pad their lead, left that they're 6 points ahead with a game in hand against Everton, and they should put Everton to the sword because they look pitiful this season. I think they're going to be just fine. I get that Arnie is trying to be sensible and humble and not say, oh, we're going to win the league just yet. But there is a limit as to how cautious you can be. And I'm cautious too. I don't join the whole we're going to win the league bandwagon when it comes to Arsenal. Far from it. We've been burnt too many times. At least Liverpool have won the league more recently than we have. We still crow about going a whole season unbeaten and asking teams, is yours gold? Well, no, ours may not be gold, but at least we've won it more often than you have. And where's your Champions League trophy, you bunch of bottlers?
Yes, man. Go for it.
Spot on, Manny. Spot on. Spot on.
You're right there, man. 100%. 100%, mate. And these are the fixtures coming up for Liverpool, by the way. So do you think they should be in the Carabao Cup against Spurs? They should get through there, shouldn't they, surely? Against Spurs, the way they are at the moment. You would think.
You'd like to think that because it's a cup. You'd like to think that because it's a cup game, anything can happen. But the way Spurs are, I think their luck's run out. No.
Yeah.
I think Slot may make one or two changes. Maybe bring in Kelleher for Alisson, and maybe try and give the likes of Endo and one or two others a few games. Liverpool do have a few absences. I think Szoboszlai didn't play last night against United, and one or two others are also not quite fit as of yet. Obviously, Arnie will be clamoring for the likes of Jota and Tsimikas to play. Bradley could also get a run out at right back and drop and see Trent drop to the bench. Gomez is also injured, I think. So Liverpool do have some injury worries, but Spurs are becoming a bit of a shambles. I think Liverpool should win this. I could go for a 2-1 win, but it could be one of those 2-1s which sort of flatter the one on the receiving end of that result.
So here's another big question for you, Manny. Who do you think they'll be playing in the final if they get through? Newcastle or Arsenal? Well, could be. I've got a feeling. Sorry, nothing against Arsenal, but I just think Newcastle have got the better form, playing the better football.
Mate, I mentioned it earlier. We've got Saka out for months, and we've got Nwaneri who has a bit of a muscle injury. I don't know if he'll be fit. So it could very well be that we have to play something like our first team, but it could be Martinelli on the right and Trossard on the left. Will it be Jesus or will it be Havertz? I don't know. But if I never ever see Thomas Partey at right back again, it will be too soon. Let's get Erie and Timber back in at right back. Get Tierney in at left back.
One sec. I'll be back. I'll be back. 1 sec.
Yeah, cool, man.
I'll be back.
No worries, bro. That's fine. No worries.
Get Kieran Tierney. Let him give Tino Livramento or whoever's playing at Newcastle a right back for Newcastle a tough time, and at least let Tierney stay till the end of the season so that if we reach the final and somehow win it, we get a medal. But if Newcastle play Alexander Isak, we could be in for a load of pain. And Newcastle have beaten us before. So the sad part is that it could. I'm still hopeful for an Arsenal win, but I don't know if I can see it necessarily happening. And certainly Joe Willock will want to, prove a few points against his ex-employers and fans.
Yeah. I
did mention, of course, if we had a Spurs Newcastle final, we'd see Sonny and Cher at Wembley, but I don't think that'll happen.
No, I don't think it will. But yeah, getting onto that one, FA Cup. So funny you mentioned Atkinson Stanley. Funny you mentioned them, Manny. That's who Liverpool have got, and they should get through that, shouldn't they, Liverpool? Let's be honest, that should be fairly easy, even with the second team probably they might put out. So,
mate, I would like to see, instead of beer and the other drinks, milk being sold at Anfield. That would really be brilliant, yeah? And you've got to have Ian Rush there. You've got to have those two boys from that advertisement there doing that routine. And I'm sure the Accrington Stanley fans would enjoy the Mickey take because, I mean, they're getting a day out at Anfield. That should be one for the ages. And, yeah, 3-0 to Liverpool. I don't even see Accrington Stanley scoring. But if they do score at Anfield, it would be wonderful. And let's not forget, you might remember when a certain team of bin men and other semi-professionals went to Anfield and gave Benitez's boys an almighty scare. I mean, who would have ever seen that coming? I haven't. And Waterlooville.
Yeah, but you know, this is all about the magic of the cup, though, isn't it? If Atkinson done something here, that'd be incredible, wouldn't it? Cause an upset, but I can't see it happening. No way. I think Liverpool might get at least 4 or 5 here. I reckon. But I'd like to see Atkinson get a goal. That'd be amazing. That would really, you know, lift their supporters a bit if they got something. So. But no, I think Liverpool get a cruise comfortably to a win there and get through. And then, of course, Forest. Well, Forest playing tonight, of course, and we will touch on that briefly before we go. We're obviously going to be previewing that. But I think Forest would be a tough one, and of course beat them, didn't they? Forest before at Anfield. So I don't think that'd be a walkover here for Liverpool. I really don't. No way.
No, it wouldn't be. It wouldn't be. And obviously, Slot will have to make some changes to his defence. It's painfully obvious that Andrew Robertson is, getting on a little bit and no longer the fine left back he used to be. And there are some issues about Virgil van Dijk, obviously Trent. So bring in someone like a Shimikas for this game and maybe Bradley for this game and see how well they do. And they've got to nullify Chris Wood, Elanga and company and prevent them from dominating the game. If they can do that, then they've solved the problem. And of course, Callum Hudson-Odoi will be a real pain in the backside for them. And that should be a game which I think Liverpool will win 2-1. And I don't know if Forest will be able to sustain their wonderful performances till the end of the season. So they might football. But if they do qualify for Europe via the Europa or even the Conference League, that would be wonderful for them.
Yeah, that would be amazing. I hope they do, but I just think they might just fall away. They might fade away a little bit towards the end of the season. But we'll see. We'll see. You never know. And then, of course, against us, at the GTEC. Well, can we get our home form back again and get that going? And we got City there, of course, first. Can we do what we done, 2 or 3 seasons back when we beat them twice? Of course, we lost to them earlier last season. Well, last year, I should say. This season. But I think it's this time we could get something, Manny. You know, I think they can be got at. I really do, for that defence. They're not, they're not invincible anymore at the back.
Yeah, against City, I would love to see you get something. As far as Liverpool are concerned, if they play the same defence they played against United, you should fancy your chances. But make sure you pack your own midfield. And obviously, it's a bit sad that I think Carvalho's injured, isn't he?
Yeah, he is at the moment, I believe. He might be back for that. I'm not sure. He may be. But I don't think he's done enough at the moment anyway to warrant getting a game. I just don't think he has. He started out fairly well and then faded away. And even his dad had a go at us saying, "Oh, what's he doing at Brentford? Why is he playing for Brentford?" And I don't think that was good. He shouldn't be doing that, saying all that. It's a bit like old Ramsdale's dad, isn't it? Slagging off, what's going on at Arsenal. But, we signed him, and he should be playing for us. He should be playing well for us, no matter what. But anyway, we'll wait and see if he comes back or not. And yeah, Lille, they got Lille. They should do well there. They should get through. You would think should win against Lille. You would think. Ipswich could be tough money. Ipswich maybe, but no, they're at home, so you would think they should still win. Although Ipswich are going well. PSV, well.
Yeah, as I've mentioned, I think it's obviously, Forest and then Brentford and then Ipswich and then Bournemouth and then Spurs. Yeah. These are games which Liverpool should fancy themselves winning. Bournemouth are going to be a tricky opposition, but I just wonder if, they may have the stamina to maintain the form they've showed. And as I mentioned in the group chat, this should be a run of games where Liverpool will fancy taking some points. And then, of course, Liverpool against Wolves, City at the Etihad, and then Newcastle. Oh, Newcastle are going to be very tricky. I don't know if I can predict an easy win for them. It could be another score draw like it was at St James's Park. And then, of course, this week I think you've got Plymouth in the FA Cup.
Yeah,
I think
Plymouth,
Frank
yeah.
should make some changes. Get
Yeah.
Valdemarson in goal and others in.
We'll probably have a completely different team for that, Manny. Yeah, second team, I would think. Yeah, let's give them a go. I think we've got to give some other players a go now that haven't had many games, and so I do opportunity now against Plymouth. Let's see what they can do. A lot of these other players, good young players we got there. So, but anyway, getting back to this, and this is the last one we're going to do. It's obviously the preview for tonight. Wolves against Forest. Could be a great game. Could Wolves get an important win? That's, they need it to get out of the danger zone. And Forest needs to keep winning to keep going the way they're going. And what are they, top four? They top four? So, 5. Anyway, so they're going really well. What do you make of this? What do you predict for this?
This is going to be tasty, Steve. Tasty doesn't begin to describe it. Is AK back with us, by the way?
Oh no, he's not. No, he's not at the moment. So,
Okay. Well,
hopefully he will before. Here we go. He's back now. Yeah, he's back. Yeah, you're back there.
Brilliant.
Yeah, I'm back.
Yeah. So, obviously, we'll talk about this, and this, of course, we'll see Nuno Santo and Morgan Gibbs-White going back to Molineux. And, Wolves are starting to recover a little bit under their new Portuguese manager, another Portuguese bloke coming in to the Black Country club and managing them. I think they like their Portuguese people just so much, whether it's the managers or the players. I don't know what it is, but I can't see anything other than a Forest win, although it could be a little bit tight. I'm going for 2-1, and there's no way that it can, change from that. And obviously, you've got the squad list up there. We are seeing quite a few people getting injured on Wolves' side. And of course, Jose Sar's come back into the starting lineup and is performing very well. Matt Doherty obviously will have a big role to play, whether it's at right back or on the right side of the midfield. He and Semedo, of course, normally compete, and Semedo is now the captain. And I do obviously like Ait Nouri. I think he's certainly quality. Chan Wang, smart attacker. Bellegarde, Strand Larsen, those players could certainly key. They will have to tighten up defensively. And as far as Forest are concerned, that midfield certainly is one worth envying. Ward-Prowse needs to start playing a bit more, but obviously even without him, Elliot Anderson, Gibbs-White, of course, defensively they do have the on loan Aston Villa left back, Alex Moreno. I think he might be injured slightly, but they do have some good players at right in their defence. Matt Sells is a very capable goalkeeper, of course. And then, of course, you've got Chris Wood, Awani, Elanga, who have all certainly been doing really good things at the moment. Yeah, I can't see anything other than a Forest win, but AK, if you're back, let's hear what you have to say about this.
Yeah, go on, fella.
Yeah, I think, I mean, Wolves, after sacking Gary O'Neill, I think they're just finding a bit of form at the moment, but it's not like it's not like Wolves are completely back, and I think it's gonna take time for Wolves to adjust with the new manager. And yeah, I mean, definitely, I mean, like, I think Wolverhampton must be happy to at least get a manager that at least is gonna be another, like, getting in players from Portugal and all that, the Portuguese connection and all that. But yeah, I think there's gonna be some good days for Wolverhampton, and Yeah, in terms of Forest, Nuno Espirito Santo, yeah, not gonna lie, Nuno Espirito Santo has been impressive with Forest lately. He's got the team. I mean, like Nuno's been getting wins. He has been getting wins. Yeah, he has been getting wins, and he got a big win against Liverpool. So yeah, I mean, I could see Nottingham Forest. I think Forest are gonna edge this. They are gonna edge this against Wolves.
Yeah.
I think I think Forest have an advantage.
Yeah, all the meetings before have been mainly draws. Wolves have beaten them 1-0, 2022, the last time they beat them. So the last ones have been draws, 1-1, 1-1, 2-1, 1-1. So really, Forest haven't really beaten Wolves yet, especially at home. So that could change tonight, I think, maybe, the way Forest are going. You'd think they should get a win here, but Wolves are struggling. I mean, although they've got some results lately with the new manager bounce, you could say, has sort of helped them, I think. And I think they've got some great players still. I'd have Cunha all day long at the Bees. He's quality, absolute quality. Aït-Nouri and all that, you know. They've got so many quality players still, Wolves, but I don't know, they just flattered to deceive. And with O'Neill there, it was such a shame they got rid of him. I hate that, seeing him go yet again, been sacked yet again, O'Neill. But he's a quality manager. But I think his hands were tied a bit there. The way they do things at Wolves, the hands are tied with the managers, unfortunately. But yeah, I think I'm going on with Manny here and saying I think Forest will just about edge this though. Probably 2-1. I'll go with that as well. What about you, AK? What score are you going for it?
It's gonna be a close one though between them two, despite them having some interesting results between the two sides. So
Yeah,
and obviously Forest are gonna be looking to get a win at the Molineux against they're gonna be looking to get a win against Wolves at the Molineux. So this is gonna be a tight one. I think it's gonna be a 2-1 Forest.
yeah. So you're going with us? That's a hat trick, man. We got a hat trick there. 2-1 to Forest. Yeah, yeah, man. So let's see. It'd be interesting. I think it'd be a good game, man, as well. You know, I think it'd be a really good game, and should be a few chances. Should go either way, and I think with Nuno, you know, I mean, I don't know why it didn't work out for him at Spurs. I think he seems a really good manager. Well, he's certainly doing something with Forest. Can you work out how he was a flop at Spurs there, Manny? Nuno?
Well, it's funny you should mention that because obviously there was a point where after the first three games, they had a record of played 3, won 3, and were top of the league, and we had a record, lost 3, and were bottom. But then obviously, you know, things didn't really work out too well. He was seen to be a little bit of a rather brash sort of person. He ruthlessly got rid of Joe Hart, telling him, "You're not a part of my plans. I don't need you, but I'm not going to let you go away for free. I'm shipping you off for the price of $1 million." And maybe he just wasn't that sort of a person to, really get along with the players that very much, and maybe he just couldn't really impose his ideas or really impress his ideas on them. And they just started to flop quite a bit. And then Conte came in and steered the ship. And as we all know, pipped us to the post in terms of getting top 4 in Champions League football. And, but even he didn't last very long. Maybe it's the club that turns these managers into absolute basket cases. And we're seeing that, year after year. If it's not Mourinho, it's Santo. If it's not Santo, it's Conte. If it's not Conte, it's, some other bloke. And then it's now we're seeing Postecoglou getting some post-traumatic stress disorder, maybe. But I think Santo's regained his reputation. And maybe for some of these managers, you take a look at Marco Silva with Fulham, maybe the third club might prove to be the charm. And it's certainly working that way so far. It's still a little bit early days, though, and we can't we can't really put too much into it. But this season, I think he started from scratch, obviously started from the beginning after replacing Steve Cooper in the previous season. And things have been working really well, but I don't necessarily know if they will sustain that form of theirs. We'll have to see what happens, but they're going well quite now. And AK, but while you were gone, Steve and I actually were talking about Liverpool's upcoming fixtures. And in the FA Cup, Liverpool are playing Accrington Stanley. That should be one to watch, eh?
Oh yeah, definitely, Manny. It's gonna be an interesting watch.
Well, you can talk about that, and I'll have to come back. But I'll hear what he says.
No worries, fella. Anyway, yeah, go on, AK. What are you gonna carry on there, bro?
Accrington Stanley in that,
Yeah.
Accrington Stanley.
Accrington Stanley. Who are they? Well, I drink lots of milk. I'm not playing for Accrington Stanley. Accrington Stanley. Oh God, man! Yeah, I bet you know. Did you ever see that advert? Did you ever see it, man? Probably not.
Yeah, probably not.
Right. Yeah. It was like over here. Obviously, it used to be on telly, like 80s, late 80s, I think. And they used to show that advert, and it was so funny. It was brilliant, But yeah. So what do you think about Liverpool's game? They got, as I say, got Accrington Stanley and everything. The FA Cup, they should get through there easy enough. And then, of course,
I think this should be, Steve. I think this should be an easy one for Liverpool because, I mean, I don't know much about Accrington Stanley, but I think this could be. I mean, of course, given that Accrington might do something. Accrington might actually give them a game. You may never know, but yeah, but Liverpool, this should be an easy one for them. I feel.
Yeah, it should be. I think I said about 5-1 or something. I reckon that'd be something like that. If Atkinson gets a goal, that'd be incredible for them. But I think at least maybe 5, maybe even 6. I mean, you never know. But depends what team Liverpool put out. But I think it'd be good enough for Atkinson, whatever team they put out, surely. So,
should be,
yeah.
Definitely. And by the way, AK, who do you have in the FA Cup later on this week?
We got Salford.
Yeah, Salford. Yeah, it's on BBC One. That game.
Yep, Salford.
Yeah, that's on BBC One, man.
So I think there's a lot. Yeah, I think there's obviously a lot of Manchester United connections with Salford, obviously, and that's going to be quite interesting. It might almost feel as though you're playing your local rivals, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it'll be like that. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
But I'm going to say against Salford, Salford is a must-win. It is a must-win for us.
Yeah.
No excuses if we lose. No excuses of losing at all against Salford. We have to beat them.
I bet they'd love an upset though, wouldn't they, Salford? You got like what was it, the Nevilles and everything they had to do with Salford, didn't they? And Giggs
Yeah.
and Butt and all that, I believe, all to do with them. Scholes, did he have something to do with them as well? So yeah, all the ex United players, I reckon they could be there watching the game, you know. Probably.
They will be there. They will be there to watch the demise of my club, but
Well,
they will be there. They will be there for sure. But like I said, but like I said, a win against Salford is a must.
yeah, it certainly is, and hopefully we'll beat Plymouth and Arsenal. You should.
Oh yeah, one sec again.
Oh, he's gone.
Yeah.
But anyway,
No. But obviously, I did mention, Steve, that we've got Newcastle in the League Cup, and of course we've got the actual Manchester United in the FA Cup, and that's going to be interesting indeed. If United put out the same lineup did against Liverpool against us, then all we can do is get down on our knees and pray, because they're going to be determined to avenge that defeat in the Premiership earlier on. And so far, we're starting to show a few cracks. These are frightening times if you're an Arsenal supporter.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, definitely. So, do you think do you think you might win something this year? Now, you ain't going to win the Premier, are you? No way. That ain't going to happen. So, could you
that's
something?
gone.
Carabao Cup.
Gone. I'd like to see us reach the semis of the Champions League, but I don't know if that'll happen. We're in the semis of the League Cup, but if we flatter to deceive against Newcastle, or we reach the final and we also muck up there, it'll be just heartbreaking. And in the FA Cup, they don't come any tougher than Manchester United. Forget about how they're performing in the league. A cup run will definitely be something that they look forward to. And of course, United are the defending champions, lest we forget. Defending FA Cup winners. They're going to want to defend their crown title against us. We've got it all to do.
Yeah, that's for sure. What are you gonna do? Prediction for that game? Do you think what can you see happen? What scoreline would happen there?
Well, I don't know if I gave a prediction for the Arsenal-Newcastle game. I think that's over too late. So, we probably might draw the first leg against Newcastle and then take it over to the second leg. That might finish 2-2. And as far as Arsenal-Manchester United are concerned, for a 2-2 draw and Arsenal to win on penalties.
Oh, right. Ooh. Yeah. So, yeah, take them all the way to penalties. Oh, crikey. But, yeah, we wait and see. There should be some good games anyway. Always look forward to the FA Cup. Always great time of the year, great time of the season to watch the FA Cup. All the little teams and other teams coming into it and fancying their chances of a cup upset. And they've been a few over the years, as you've been witness to with your team, likes of Wrexham and everything. They were little then, Wrexham, not so little now.
Oh, don't really
think about it, but but yeah. So should be. I'm looking forward to it. But obviously, this stream has gone over 2 hours now. It's 2 hours 29, and really, I've got to try and call it a day with this. And want to get something to eat. And Hank Marvin again. So got to get something to eat. But anyway, where can we find you, my friend?
Yeah. Well, first of all, Steve, once again, Happy New Year to you and your family, your near and dear ones, and I hope you will have a good upcoming week, and you didn't celebrate too hard over the past 2 weeks or so. And big up as well to AK coming over here. Do please follow him on Instagram, and I'm sure that Steve will look up AK's Instagram ID and share that with us in case AK can't make it back. Another social media channel. And you can catch me here on obviously the Buzz with Mr. B on the Hive Football Chat, and also on the cricket channel, Mr. B Chats England Cricket, where we have some really good chinwags about the state of the England team. And of course, obviously, we're not in contention to play the WTC final, but the England women are in Australia now and will be playing the Women's Ashes. So hopefully I will get some coverage of that. I know Steve will be able to watch that, and we will definitely talk a lot about that. And of course, come on, England ladies, get those Ashes back, bring them back to Blighty. Also, do catch me on other channels. Big up to Del Boy Gunner TV, who was here in the chat earlier. I will hope to try and possibly rejoin one of his streams later on. Also, Coach's Corner. We might be having a cricket stream tonight for the Off to the Boundary show. Hope to be there. Oris Talks Football, of course. Up the cherries in all departments. We do the cherry picking streams and also the This Is Football streams for the channel. He's been a little bit busy of late, but he will be coming back, of course, in January. That's Craig Beasley and his merry men, of course. Also, shout out to Tony Claude Gunner TV, Danny ASC TV, Gundown UK, Southern Gooner, Rich Sported, and also Spurs Asia TV with Eugene, and just several other channels where I've made appearances on more than a few occasions, at least one occasion, all very special to me. And if those people don't believe them when I tell them they're special to me, there will, of course, be a check in the post, but I have to start writing some checks. I keep saying that, but I do mean it. You are important to me, no doubt about it. And there's nothing much else. Of course, this week, there will be some interesting football. I don't get coverage of the League Cup, sadly, but I will be looking forward to catching the FA Cup this weekend. Tonight, of course, it's Wolves against Forest. And then this week, it will be cup action from the Carling Cup. The Carabao Cup and the FA Cup. And as far as cricket is concerned, obviously, there will be some other series coming up. Obviously, we had the Australia-India Border Gavaskar Trophy finish. Congratulations to Australia. Yeah. And, there are going to be some really intriguing, exciting, sports games, some sports action coming up this year. And I'll be looking forward to catching some of them and getting a lot of other stuff done this new year. And I hope all of you have a very prosperous 2025. And I hope you all achieve what you'd like to achieve. So until I see you again next time, take care of yourselves. Be safe, be happy. Have a great week. Have a good 2025. Don't do anything that Steve, Akshay, and I wouldn't do. But until then, as always, farewell to thee. Goodbye and God bless to all of you. We'll see you again soon. And I've got to go and eat too. I'm hungry as well.
Cheers, bro. Thanks for coming on as usual, Manny. Brilliant as always, and happy New Year to you, of course, and to AK. And I put your thing in here, AK, your Insta thing there. I believe it's Insta.
Cheers for that. Cheers for that. I'm sorry. I apologize for dropping out at such a time like this, like before you ended the stream. I was just getting some phone calls and I had to take it. So
yeah, no worries. It's cool, man.
Oh yeah. And guys, wish you all a happy new year. Wish you a good 2025. Hope this year goes well for everyone. And don't do anything stupid this year. That's all I can say.
Yeah, that's good advice. Nobody does it. It'd be good if nobody could do anything stupid, but unfortunately, there is a few that do, aren't there? Unfortunately, but yeah. Anyway, that's AK's Insta down there, guys. So follow him on there. What's that? AKCW City there. So go and follow him on there. Thanks to you two fellas coming on, and follow me, Mr. B for Life 182. Subscribe to Mr. B Hive Football Chat and Mr. B Chats England Cricket. As Manny says, I'll be doing a cricket stream for the Ashes coming up, the Women's Ashes on Saturday. Should be great. I'll be doing a preview for that probably Thursday or Friday if you're available, Manny, and around.
I will. No question about it. I want to join you for this. This should be fun.
Yeah, cool. Cheers, man. Brilliant. And obviously keep following my content on here and the cricket, and I'll be doing the preview for the Plymouth game as well. The Bees against Plymouth. Come on, the Bees, let's go. Let's keep going and get through there against Plymouth. And good luck to everyone else and their teams, to City, of course, and others. And thanks to people in the live chat, Luca and Delboy, of course. Delboy Gunner TV, great channel. Go and check him out as well. Brilliant channel. And, you know, but for the time being, guys, we are out of here. We are gone. Cheers, guys. Thanks, everyone. Bye.